Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, we are talking about anxiety disorders and your family's phobias. I said your family's phobias. However, some of those family phobias end up becoming our phobias. First of all, let's talk about anxiety disorders. These are common problems among many believers as well as unbelievers. This is why so many will go to a church and have the ministers, deacons, sisters, and brothers in Christ pray for them. It's a secret, but then it's not a secret when it comes to anxiety disorders. Some people know full well when you are anxious about something. But the difference between a person who has normal anxiety and a person who has a disorder is that people who are, dare we say it, normal are not feeling all sorts of tension and feeling all sorts of danger over the typical situations, such as going to visit someone via plane or staying in an atmosphere where most people have no issues. But there's that one who says, is there a rat? Is there a spider? Is there an ant? Oh my goodness, I don't know if I could stay here. Sometimes these sorts of things creep up on us when we least expect it because, yes, there was a real danger at one point. Yes, there was a plague of insects. Yes, there was threats and violence and a number of other issues that really did take place. So there was no doubt about it. Something happened. But when there is nothing happening and you're the one who has all of this anxiety about it, it's safe to say that there is definitely a mental health challenge of some sort that one is grappling with. These sorts of anxiety disorders, whatever they might be, will disrupt your relationship with another person, your work, as well as other people, places, and things that you connect with. And the thing about disorders is that we're not beating up on people about this sort of thing. We are safeguarding ourselves, though, when somebody is having a lot of anxiety and they are not agreeable and they don't want to get necessary help and they're not interested in taking prescribed medicines. I mean, when somebody's got a lot going on, yes, you are going to have to protect yourself as well as family members and friends who come in contact with the individual, because some of this stuff ends up turning into situations that are very unsafe. Okay. A person who is really going through the motions, having all sorts of anxiety, and they may look at you as a threat, and therefore they may defend themselves by any means necessary. That's why we don't assume that a person's not going to use a gun who has a gun in the home. We don't assume that the dog is not going to attack us. We don't assume that one who's a nervous wreck is going to suddenly calm down just because we said calm down. So yes, I am looking at the person who's walking up to me, who's the pet owner, and they're very high strung about something, and now their pet is circling me. This really happened. And I was looking at the pit bull like, what are you going to do? And then I was looking around to see if there was something within grasp to defend myself. Okay? Yes, these sorts of things can take a very ugly turn. And we don't always have control over other people, places, and things. What are some examples of these phobias that create the anxiety? There are those who are fearful of flying. And so this will disrupt your connection with relatives and friends. They want to see you, but no, I'm not going to go out there. I'm not going to fly. So your phobia restricts you from doing the very thing that God himself, for many individuals, has spoken about. I need for you to take care of this arrangement so that your family can move to X, Y, and Z. But I don't want to fly. And I don't want to drive. And I don't want to get on a train. And so that individual, they stay in the community for many, many years. And when the children are old enough, they obey God and they do what is right. And they get blessed and they get highly favored. Yes, this sort of thing can affect your spiritual connectedness or lack thereof with the one true God. My phobia of flying, riding, walking, driving, what have you, has restricted me from going where God has called me to go. My phobia, somebody needs to say that, has kept me from connecting with people because somebody else's phobia was put upon me about this particular ethnicity. Come on. See, at times we've got to look inwardly at what is really going on. See, we'll make excuses. We'll say, well, the reason why I didn't want to take that job was because they wasn't offering enough money. When meanwhile, they was offering enough money, you just didn't want to drive. That happened to me. I mean, my palms started sweating. My heart started racing. I was having trouble breathing when I thought about where I had to drive to get to where this money was. And so, needless to say, I didn't take the job. Come on. See, we got to pray for one another, and I've got to pray for some individuals because once again, people make excuses as to why they don't want to deal with certain people, places, and things. How about the individual that never did anything to you, but they just look weird? There's something odd about them. They remind you of that scary old man or that old woman that lived across the street or down the way. And I mean, I really want to go over there and see how she's doing, but she's just so creepy. And I'm afraid that she might be in the back coming up with some kind of brew. And meanwhile, the woman isn't a witch. The woman isn't the scary old lady that was yelling and threatening to get rid of all the kids in the neighborhood. It's just a lady that just looks a little odd, right? Just giving an example. But you see how this sort of thing, it seems so crazy to other people. Like, why would you act like that? I mean, flying is flying and bugs are bugs. Let's go there. Yes, we're going to go there because I've had people practically knock me over and run other people down over a spider. Yes, over a spider. Not a big one, not one with fur on it. Not one that was used to feed dinosaurs way back in the day. We're talking about a small spider that you could literally smash with your hand. Okay? I'm telling you, some individuals have their share of phobias. Some people who freak out about animals, four-legged creatures with teeth. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. What's wrong? What's wrong? Just move. Just move. And meanwhile, you're saying that dog or that cat or that whatever the animal might be isn't scary. It's tamed. It's trained. I mean, yeah. Just when you thought you had your share of anxieties and phobias and what have you, there's somebody out there that has to be medically treated for theirs. They have to go somewhere for a while and be among counselors because it's just that scary for them. People who have had major accidents, takes years for them to get into a vehicle and drive. They rather walk everywhere. It's bitter cold. I don't care. I'm not driving. You got that wonderful opportunity to get this vehicle and you don't want to buy it. I don't want to buy anything right now. Shut your mouth and stop talking to me about driving, about buying a car or anything else. Okay? I know, once again, for some of you all, you have had these conversations with some people. You've tried to calm them down. I can tell you saying calm down repeatedly is not going to calm them down. It's only going to ramp them up. You don't want anybody taking control over your emotions and telling you what you ought to do in the heat of them. So what makes you think that it's okay and all right to tell somebody to calm down? You need to get yourself under control. Shut up. Get over there. Stay out the way. Really? But we got people who do this sort of thing rather than repeatedly say this sort of these sorts of statements. It's best just to say, is there something that I can do for you? Let me go grab you some water. Okay. Rub their back, rub their elbow. Show them something that's positive to redirect them from what is causing them a lot of mental anguish. Okay. We have those individuals who they make up excuses as to why they don't want to be around individuals, family members and friends. It's a special holiday. You've skipped out. And you've skipped out again, and you skipped out again, and your family's not toxic. Some people, they're making up excuses. Their family is not toxic. I know that's crazy, right? Because I do talk about all sorts of issues on this channel dealing with family. But there are those individuals, their family's not toxic. They're blowing all of that up. They're exaggerating. I know, sounds crazy, but God showed me in the spirit. These individuals will simply not deal with family because they don't like their heart racing when they get around them. They don't like their flesh crawling. They don't like all of what comes with being around some folks. And then some people say, well, maybe the reason why they're acting like that is because their family really is toxic. Once again, we're not talking about that creepy feeling that comes upon you when you're around certain people that have a dark energy. These are believers. These are people that open up the door, roll out the red carpet, welcome them, show them some love. But they get nervous around these people who are suffering from various phobias and anxiety disorders. They get nervous around them and get even worse when they show too much attention and affection, you see. Okay. So sometimes we can't believe every little itty bitty thing that people tell us, okay, about their family members. Some of the family members will say, well, let me just share a little information about my daughter or my son or my cousin or my aunt or my mother or my father. It's not that they don't like you or don't want to be around you. It's just that when they get in a room full of people, they act very different. And it's like as soon as they walk in, they want to run away. And so when a person opens up and tells the truth rather than tell the lie, then people are more understanding about this sort of thing. Then you get those people who have their own shared personality disorders that aren't understanding. Well, she just needs to get over it, or he needs to just grow up, or I mean, we've been dealing with these issues with these relatives for years. I mean, they just need to stop acting so closed off and so weird and strange and just come on out and have a drink and eat some food. I mean, can't you just pray for them? Some people have been praying for their family members and friends for a long time who have these phobias and anxiety disorders. And here's the report. It hasn't worked. Now, why? I don't know. I don't know. That's between God and that person who's going through. There has been people who have been on all sorts of medicines. They've had their share of side effects, and the anxiety only got worse. I know that I took a medicine years back, and the issues got worse once it was weaned out my system. Okay. So I don't know, and I'm not going to pretend like I know as to why some people get healed and other ones don't. Okay. There are those who have agoraphobia. This is the fear of places or settings that a person feels he or she won't be able to escape from. For example, the person may fear going anywhere without a spouse or friend. Being inside a crowded building. Now, this is a direct quote about agoraphobia from a pamphlet called What Everyone Should Know About Anxiety Disorders. This is a free pamphlet that is made available from a printing company, Channing and Bet. And when I came across this particular leaflet, I said, this is something that people need to know about, because we don't always have that opportunity to sit down and talk to people who are coming into churches or are apprehensive about showing up at a church, because I don't like the way it feels in there. It's too much activity. It's too much energy. I feel like I want to run. And it's not because the denomination or the people are evil or dark or ugly. It's just that the person has their own share of anxiety about that group of people, or about that denomination that believes in running around and falling out and praising the Lord over and over again. And why can't we just sit down and calm down and be quiet? Well, people, once again, they have their share of anxieties, and we have to respect that. Okay. We don't keep calling people up and telling them, you need to come, you need to show up. This is a great event. You know, sometimes people have gone through their share of issues personally and professionally. They probably was okay and all right about 2 months ago. And now, just give me something quiet. And that's okay and all right. As long as they're worshiping the Lord, as long as they're happy and content and peaceful, as long as they're going toward harmony rather than disharmony, what is wrong with that? But once again, controlling people with their shared personality disorders have a big issue with people going their own way, with people setting up their own schedule, with people getting around people or not getting around people. Okay. Wow. We got a lot to cover. So I'm going to go back to this leaflet and talk about the people with phobias that are seized by terror, as well as those that are determined to avoid their fear. And we do see this once again when people are apprehensive about the church. We're not talking about those that are demonically just wicked and evil and dark and I can't stand Christian people. We're talking about folks who, I do like Christians. I am a believer. I just have something going on with me right now, and I got to get some help. And that help doesn't come from the church, unfortunately, but they have to go to professional counselors that deal with phobias. Okay. And you can look up your particular phobia on the internet and make an appointment. Walk in, talk with them about it. It makes you feel good to know that somebody gets you. They understand you. Years and years of people fighting folks because they just don't get what I'm going through. Well, God is releasing you from those fights, and go and seek the help that you need through the support group, through the doctor, through the counselor. So seized by terror, these are the individuals when there is no actual threat, but they feel scared, very, very scared, terrified, right? When they face their fear, their heart races, they have trouble breathing, they tremble and sweat. And I saw a girl firsthand. She used to show up in gym class. I don't know what it was about gym class, and also the hallway too. That was something that I would see. And she would suddenly become so frightened. And then I would see the teachers come over, and they would talk to her, and they would counsel her, and then she would proceed about her day. And she did this over and over again. And she managed to graduate, but she had to fight through it. Every day was a fight. Every day was a fight for her. She never knew what a day was going to bring. Imagine that, right? Heart racing, trouble breathing, just breaking out in sweats. There are those individuals who are determined to avoid their fears. I know I got a fear. I got to fear this. I got to fear that. Okay, fine. You have a fear of all these things, but don't you want to deal with them? I don't have to deal with them. I'm okay. I'm all right. They're determined to avoid their fear, even though it may disrupt their daily life. For example, they may drive only on little used roads. Look, I got to get to work. I know you got to get to work. Well, why we got to go to all these back roads? Why we got to go down this long road when there's a shorter road over there? I mean, we might have to hit the freeway. I'm not hitting the freeway. Oh, man. High anxiety. Sometimes it's just for that day, right? Some of us, we get it. Today, I'm not hitting any freeway. I feel like the Lord is telling me, don't hit the freeway. Now that's different. Then tomorrow, you're back on the freeway again. No, we're talking about people that avoid the freeway at all costs. I gotta drive how fast? 65 miles per hour. No, I like 45 on the back roads, right? Well, we could chuckle because we know every now and again we get like that, but for somebody who's like this all the time and they're late getting to work and they're affecting other people at the workplace, yes, this can be troubling. They leave home only to go to work. The kids want to go somewhere on the weekend. What's the problem about taking the kids to go see the clown or go see the cool festival? I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here. You got a problem with that? Yes, I do. I think that you need to be more proactive with the children and go somewhere other than work. And how about to the grocery store sometime? Because I'm tired of going to the grocery store. And what about going out to eat? Because I'm tired of cooking. Look, I'm going from here to work and back again. And I may get gas. You may get gas. Yes, I may get gas. Once again, we're trying not to make this message too serious. But at the end of the day, the anxieties are real, right? The anxieties are real. And when you listen to this audio, it makes you start to question some things about your decisions over the years. Was it the reason why I didn't take that opportunity because I had anxiety? Yes. Was it because this relationship that I was trying to work hard on really flopped because I didn't want to do certain things and he got bored and he didn't want to be bothered? And yes, you see, things like this kind of open up your eyes a bit. It should anyway, to why the blessings for some people just aren't coming. Okay. Refuse a new job that involves travel or meeting new people. I'm not going nowhere. What? No. If I got to go to this state, that city, what have you, but they're paying you this ridiculous amount of money. I know, but I'm not going nowhere. Oh my goodness. And the family is back to eating over there at the soup kitchen. They're back to signing up for welfare because somebody's anxiety. They may have gotten over some things for a little while, but now they're in a full season of high anxiety. Well, the last time when I took that job and I traveled and then I was meeting those people and everything, I was always sick to my stomach. My head was hurting. I couldn't take it. And the family suffers. The family suffers because of things like this. My family got impacted by a panic disorder that I had. I've got to talk to some folks about it, right? Because sometimes we listen to messengers, teachers, preachers, leaders, what have you, and we have a false assumption that they don't go through too much anything. Well, I beg to differ. The panic disorder affected my family, not just once, but many times because, simply put, there were some unresolved issues that was going on personally. Some of it involved some other people, and I couldn't physically leave, so my body shut down and escaped for a while. Every time I felt pressure, every time I felt something was a bit strange, a bit different, a bit odd with people that I was in contact with, and my body said, well, I know you can't physically leave, but I can make you shut down. Okay? I know everybody's issues with panic disorder are different, but that's the way my body responded. So panic attacks, they are scary. They do make you feel like you're dying when you're really not dying. The things that you experience during an attack, for those who are unfamiliar, Others are already familiar, so you will probably know some of these symptoms. There's a sense of some kind of impending doom. There's a terror of some sort that creeps up over you. Okay? You have some signs of a heartbeat that is just rapid. It's heart palpitations. Okay? There's some sweating. You're feeling dizzy, lightheaded, nauseous, feeling like you're about to throw up. You're not breathing correctly. So there's some shallow breathing involved. You feel like you're going to die at that very moment. You feel like you're going crazy as it leads up to the major panic anxiety. I feel like I'm going out of my mind. What's wrong with me? You feel like you're losing control. You're raising your voice. You're freaking out, or you're very quiet and very still. And then all these feelings come upon you. And unfortunately, there really is no way to predict an attack unless, of course, you go to the one true God and speak to him, and he may show you some signs. I'm not going to say that he won't, because he just might. Panic disorders might also include agoraphobia. A person has panic attacks in many settings. I'm reading from the guide now. The person avoids these for fear of having another attack. With time, the person is afraid to go out at all. Okay. It's interesting. Some of my best audio was after a panic anxiety attack. Okay. I don't know why, but it just happened. Maybe because I just felt so grateful to be alive. Right? All right. The sooner a person gets help, the sooner he or she can find relief. There is another anxiety disorder that we need to talk about. This one is generalized anxiety disorder. This involves the constant worry that the worst will happen. This lasts for at least 6 months. Okay? For 6 months, just imagine. You are worried that the worst is going to happen. There are individuals who believe that their homes are going to be taken from them. Meanwhile, they're paying the bills. They're taking care of all responsibilities, but they believe that. They believe that there's going to be a fire that's going to show up and it's going to destroy everybody and everything over in a certain location. Doesn't happen, but they believe it. Oh, I'm just worried. I'm worried that so-and-so is going to get a divorce. I'm worried that this person is going to lose their job. I believe that this, whatever. I'm just going to let some people fill in the gap. Okay. Sometimes this happens, of course, with older people, right? They're aging, they're going through, they've got their share of mental illness that has suddenly creeped upon them, or it was gradually showing up. And then this also happens with young people. Drugs can trigger this sort of thing, substance abuse of any kind. And then sometimes it's none of it. It's just worry that shows up. That's why you got to watch who you're talking to and the type of shows that you're watching and the music that you're listening to and what you're reading. I wasn't feeling this way until I started, and then you fill in the blank. Or so-and-so wasn't acting like that until they got caught up in this movie or this song or this piece of work that they've been creating for the past 6 months. Constant worry. The worst is going to happen. Somebody's going to steal my stuff. No, they're not. Right? But it happens. So the normal daily life causes worry for someone with GAD, generalized anxiety disorder. For example, he or she may feel anxious about a job, money, family and or children, health, household chores, car problems. I don't think I'm going to get that job. Oh my gosh, this is too good to be true. My car's been driving this good for this long. Oh my gosh. But what if it breaks down? What if I get caught up in traffic and then it breaks down? You see, oh, this money is looking good. I'm loving it. But, wait a minute. I shouldn't love money. God might take the money away. I should never said that. Oh, wait a minute. Right? I got to come up with another way to make some money before this money runs out. I don't want my family going over there. Your family will be fine. I don't want my son walking over there. I don't want my daughter riding in that car. Everything is safe. What are you concerned about? I don't know. I just have this feeling. Oh, I have an ache. a body ache. It's starting to take over my body right now. I don't know. Maybe that means that's the flu. It's not the flu. You don't know. You were exercising yesterday. I know I was exercising yesterday. Calm down. I don't want to calm down. Don't you say that to me. Right? We got to get all these chores taken care of right now. This house has to be clean from top to bottom. Who's coming? Nobody. Well, why are we cleaning? Because I don't want my house filthy. It's 4:00 in the morning. I don't care what time it is. Pull these carpets up. Take this out. Move this over here. No, I don't want this moved over here. Wait a minute. There might be something back there. Clean that. Okay? And some of these examples I'm giving you, I wish I could say that they're made up, but they're not. These are real people in the past that I dealt with that would get me all stirred up because they're stirred up within. And then here I am trying to calm them down by doing. If I just do this and do that, or say this and say that, they will get their needs met. I'll be happy. They'll be happy. And then the worry starts all over again. And you find yourself caught up in this cycle with this person who has this anxiety disorder that's lasting for 6 months or more. The worry is out of proportion to real life. Okay? And then what do? Because we love them, because we care about them, we make excuses for them. Some people with GAD know they worry too much. They know it, but they can't control it. The symptoms of GAD: feeling restless, sleep problems, muscle tension, feeling moody, fatigue, not being able to focus, frequent urination, feeling lightheaded, feeling out of breath. Okay, you know some people like this. Other anxiety disorders, I'm going to zero in on those in another audio message. By all means, stay tuned. We're going to get into obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder. If there's time, we're going to also get into the treatment. Okay. And I definitely want to get into the treatment. We don't just talk about these things, but we want to make sure that some people get some solutions for their problems. So by all means, check in and look for part 2 of anxiety disorders. Okay. And our families, right? They're putting these disorders on us. And we don't want these disorders. We ask in Jesus' mighty name to take these disorders away, that we don't get caught up in other people's worry, stress, and other things that simply God did not call us to walk in. So do check out the message. In the meantime, you are also welcome to check the description box. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment, and also we do welcome giving. So thank you so much for doing that as well. Those individuals who have done this sort of thing in the past, blessings to you. So once again, stay tuned for audio number 2, the final message.